My name is Jacqueline Rose, and I am an artist, and I thank so much the BCA for hosting First Fridays to support the artists in Brockton area.
What would you say the role that you play in Brockton Community Access?
The role I play as an artist in Brockton is to bring creative ideas and involve people in activities that will engage them, inspire hopefully, bring them to just a different way of looking at things.
And I see you have this beautiful painting beside you. Can you give us some insight on that?
Yeah, sure, I'd love to. This painting right now is called As Yet Unnamed, and that's because it is not named. I painted it with oils. It's oil on canvas. You'll see that it's using a spatula technique that instead of a paintbrush in here, we're doing layers of paint. So that is for the sunflower. And the painting started with the sunflower. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background on here. I have a sunflower that showed up in my garden in 2020. And I hadn't planted it. It just showed up. And we all know what happened in 2020. So it was there, and then the next year, and I got the seeds from it, and then the next year I planted more, and so I had a wealth of seeds and a wealth of sunflowers. And I live in an apartment complex, and people could see them all over, and I brought sunflowers with me everywhere I went and gave away seeds everywhere I went. And so was inspired to paint sunflowers, and that's what I did. And thankfully, the Brockton Public Library offered to buy one of my paintings. So I said, well, if it's for a library, I want it to be about the library. So we've got features and things that relate to STEAM, engineering, STEAM women. STEAM is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. So we've got, we've got pi and E equals MC squared and music notes, sorry, I lost my words.
Good.
Thank you.
You're great.
A cog, and of course nature. And so that's why we had a book, right? The difficulty I had as an artist was like, what do I put in this book? It's going in the library. It's going to be on the library wall. What could I possibly pick? And then it came to me that the people of Brockton is who I wanted to hear from. What do you have to say about this painting? And that's what will be in the book. So I've gone around and collected responses. We had responses from people at Brockton Public Library. It was also on display outside the mayor's office for a week. We went and saw students in Kevin Flanagan's art class in Ashfield Middle School. And they gave me responses. And then also Pastor Roberto hosted us at the Homeless Improvement Project, and we got responses from some homeless folks, and that was a lovely, lovely conversation. And now we're here on our last stop. I have collected, I think it's close to 200, which is what I wanted to do. And we'll just have all these responses, and we'll be able to complete the painting and name the painting. I don't know what the name is going to be yet. I want to go through the responses and work with them a little bit more. But there'll be some pages added to that book. The book, it will jump out at you with pages and people's responses on it. So it will represent what people of Brockton think about this painting, and it will hang at Brockton Public Library.
Amazing. So I know that you said you have people commenting on the painting. What inspired you to have other people look at, like, what inspired you to have people comment on it and use it as a piece of artwork?
Well, I knew that it was, I knew that it was going to hang in the library in Brockton, and the inspiration was really in knowing that I couldn't represent what Brockton people were going to say and do and feel about their library or about the painting, and so I wanted to engage the city in the conversation, which is exactly what happened. It's just been really heartwarming, to me as an artist, to hear different people's interpretations, even the critiques, and just having the conversation, and opening up those doors of having something different to talk about, and have it positive, right?
Yes.
Which is really, I do a lot of that with the buzz around. So I know that it's really a fulfilling conversation to have once people are able to open up and talk about beauty and light and knowledge and things that empower us.
You mentioned that you yourself can't speak for everyone on what inspiration for Brockton is. So what would you say specifically for yourself is a big inspiration for Brockton?
What is my inspiration for Brockton? Yes. I love to see people of different cultures in conversation about beauty, about art, about things that mean something to them in a positive way. And that is what I would hope to see, what I would hope to engage people in, is that conversation. How can we make our community better? What brings us hope and joy? So.
You also mentioned Buzz Around, your web journalist page.
Yeah.
How would you say your Buzz Around correlates with the artwork you do in Brockton?
So, Buzz Around began as an inspiration. Buzz Around to me is artwork. It's doing the same thing with a different medium. It's hearing people's stories and pulling out. Actually, it's more in depth. it's a lot more in depth. It's been going on for a lot of years. But actually, I launched the Buzz Around in March, right before that flower started blooming. So in Brockton. I had been doing it for 11 years in other communities and had spent 2 years going, how am I going to launch this in Brockton? Who do I need to talk to in the city? Who do I need to get to know and find out what they're doing? So I spent 2 years networking and getting to know people. One thing that we do in every town that we go into, every community, is get to know what's going on at the library. I'm a huge public library fan, and getting to work with the Brockton Public Library, getting to work with Paul Engel, and what they're doing there is just huge. I can't even. And when COVID happened, I had already networked. I had already, laid that groundwork for the Buzz Around to go in, which meant that I was already talking, getting to know the library. And Paul graciously dug some old articles he had written about music, because he's a musician, from Berkeley for us to print, because I print a newsletter about events. there were no events going on, like everybody stopped, right? And I had just, was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, and I need articles. I need people to write, and nobody's ready to write. And he drew out some stuff, and we were able to feature some of his articles in our newsletters, which was so incredible of him to do. I know he had a lot going on his plate at that point as well. And then we, because I needed, stories, right? Needed to hear good news, had a contest for people to submit good news stories. In not just Brockton, but all of our towns. We publish in Bridgewater and East Bridgewater and West Bridgewater and Whitman and Halifax and Rainham. So we had this contest, and that was the beginning of the buzz around Brockton in April of 2020, right before this flower came up.
Timing was perfect.
Yes, this is all tied in. You know what I mean? It was like, here I am writing, here I am doing this, here I'm hearing stories from people from Brockton, and I got some incredibly wonderful, wonderful stories from people of Brockton to be in that contest. Yeah. And we had librarians be the judges. Right, so there were librarian judges in each of the towns, and from Brockton, we had 3 from Brockton. So it was a beautiful partnership to begin with, and really got me and the buzz around through COVID. Yeah, so I'm so honored to be able to, make this painting to hang in the library.
So I feel like this is good for the first half. So the second half, did you want to do?
Yeah.
As we were putting it.
Yeah.
We're going to explain that as well.
Yeah, we can tie that in. Yeah. Yep. Wait a minute.
One more. More.
Yes.
So I know that you said that you're taking all the responses.
1 second.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Sorry, I started crying.
Oh, you're doing great.
No, I just, some things I haven't said out loud in a long time. So, it was very emotional. It's all right. No, I'm not worried about it. It's what I was saying. It's what I was, everybody's got a 2020 story, and that one was pretty intense. It was a very intense story, what it was like trying to publish, through there, and this support that Paul gave me at that time was just like beyond. So.
Can you take a second? We're in no rush.
Yeah, well now I'm all tearing.
No, we can take a second. Because we still have the second half too, so.
Right, but you said you had another question?
Yeah, so I was just gonna ask, because I know that you said it's gonna be displayed in the library. Is it also gonna be published, all the responses in the book?
Okay, so the responses are going to be part of the painting. They're going to be part of this book. This book is not done. I mean, the book is not done. So there will be pages that are on that. There weren't any names attached to the responses, so unless somebody wrote something really original, they may not know that it was them or not them, like if somebody said beautiful, well, I'm not going to write beautiful 500 times, so that'll be there, and they can go, oh wow, look, that's what I said. But there are a few sayings that will pop out in the book that people will say, but all of it will be there. It'll be on the painting, and the painting will be on display at the library.
Perfect. So for this half, that's all I had to ask. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I look forward to lots more projects in Brockton. We've gotten a huge welcome in Brockton about our work with the Buzz Around, and There's so many organizations that are doing great and beautiful things. We love to publish all of them all the time, you know, and everybody needs to hear what people are doing, because there are just so many. And I'm excited about the new relationships that I know are out there. You know, there's 100,000 people here. So there's all kinds of things, you know, that we're uncovering all the time of just exciting stuff. Yeah.